Hello and welcome back to another video. Now, no one says that making a movie is easy because of numerous details which movie makers often have to pay attention to. There are also a lot of things for them to take into consideration as they work, and you should know that it's almost impossible to create an error-free movie. Filmmakers do their best during the editing and selection of the shots, but it's possible that some little mistakes may still slip through. These mistakes may not be obvious to a lot of people, but when noticed, they can affect how we look at some of the most popular movies that we're used to. But before we go on, take a few seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. Make sure to keep watching till the end to find out which of your favorite movies is on the list. What are the worst movie mistakes that ever slip past editors? Number 5. Pulp Fiction, Magic Bullet Holes. This was basically one of the best action movies of the early 90s. It enjoyed a lot of success, earning $230 million worldwide. Has 94% Rotten Tomatoes score and an average score of 9.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Now, this action movie is even referred to as one of the most influential films of the 90s. Well, here's some advice to Quentin Tarantino. If you're going to shoot a scene with environmental changes that are integral to the plot of the movie, such as bullet holes, you should prevent them from appearing in the scene before. This mistake is almost not visible, but when seen is actually pretty bad. Jules executes a man, and unknown to him and his partner, a hitman bursts out of the bathroom and shoots at them, managing to miss every shot. Yeah, this looks like a very cool Samuel L. Jackson, but when you consider that the same bullet holes were in the wall before Jules kills the man, well, then you'd be puzzled.
Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like.
Number 4. Beauty and the Beast. All of us were enchanted with this story while we were growing up, and the animation is even more impressive. There may have been some funny feelings when the origin of the beast was revealed, but you can't deny that it actually tells a great story with a moral lesson that anyone can relate to. Well, the animation has a fair shake of dark moments and mistakes that would make you wonder if there was any editing before its release. The scene which explained how the event took place 10 years ago presents a mixture of feelings. The prince could be said to have been obnoxious for turning away the wandering enchantress who was just looking for shelter, but her response also seemed equally extreme. Be that as it may, the prince was cursed to remain trapped as a beast unless he could get someone to love him for who he truly was. In the scene where he shreds the portrait of himself, it doesn't make any sense when he appears grown upon it, as he was only 10 years old when the spell was cast. The mistake is obvious, but doesn't ruin the entire storyline.
Are you happy here with me?
Yes.
Number 3. Jurassic World. The thrilling movie was the fourth one in the Jurassic Park franchise, set 22 years after the original Jurassic Park. It enjoyed a reasonable amount of success and revolved around the luxury park, which also doubles as a habitat for genetically engineered dinosaurs. In the movie, things go south when one of the species, Indominus Rex, escapes containment and wreaks a lot of havoc. At one point, a containment unit is set to capture the animal, but with non-lethal weapons because the dinosaur is too expensive to harm. The operations of the containment unit are being watched by live feeds to the HQ. After some time, the unit leader realizes that the dinosaur has removed its tracker and reports it back to the HQ. Soon after, he spots the dinosaur too late before it begins taking out the members of the unit one after the other. The mistake is found on the heart rate monitor of the containment in the HQ. The EKG readout seems normal, but when you observe carefully, you'll realize that the heartbeats of the 4 members of this unit are exactly the same, which is very unlikely. For a well thought out movie with impressive dinosaur graphics, that was a pretty bad mistake.
Where's the goat?
Number 2. Commando Dummies. This classic action movie may have won a lot of fans over, but it also still has its flaws. This sequence from the Arnie classic is arguably one of the worst examples of special effects of the entire action film genre. It is actually that bad. Well, if we're to be honest, the movie itself was littered with errors of its own and maybe indications that they didn't receive a large enough budget. If this isn't the case, then it means that someone watched and gave this the shot to go ahead, despite the obvious fakeness of the buildings and, even worse, the conspicuous sight of barely human-looking dummies attached to poles that somehow survived the explosion standing up. It may have been an old classic, but this one is just too terrible. Number 1. Gladiator Gas Power. In the Battle of Carthage reenactment sequence, one of the chariots is upended and crashes into the wall of the arena. Well, it's easy to get carried away as you watch all the carnage as the carriage is smashed. Now, before the carriage hits the wall, a gas canister is clearly seen when its top gets removed. It's hard to imagine why a horse-drawn vehicle would require gas power anyway, but capturing the fact on the screen of a supposedly historically accurate film, well, that's just plain sloppy. Well, the film is actually full of errors in terms of continuity, poor production errors, and historical inaccuracies, but this one sticks out a mile as the worst offender.
Ultimately, we're all dead men.
That's all for now, and thank you for watching. What was your favorite movie in the video? Let us know in the comments section. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. See you next time.